here is a great vegetarian dish that doesn't only look good but also really tastes delicious. And by using that recipe and using also the oven, that brick oven, it really shows you how great it is and how great it turns out some roasted vegetables. So let's start with some stuffed roasted bell pepper. Over here, first, I have some cherry tomatoes that I put on the pan, which actually comes with the oven. I'm lining the pan with some aluminum foil. Then I have some garlic cloves. I'm gonna sprinkle those on here. Then over here, I will use an eggplant that actually I decided on peeling actually the eggplant so it removes a little bit of the bitterness of the eggplant. And I'm just gonna cut that eggplant into dices. All right, here we go, and just gonna remove that. Okay, and then of course I'm gonna take it and just, so here we are. So I'm just going to transfer these in the pan right over here with the cherry tomatoes. So I'm really sprinkling out and spreading out those vegetables very evenly. Next, we're going to cut some red bell pepper, which I removed the seeds already. I'm just going to cut them down and just cut very evenly some strips right there. Here we go. And then I'm gonna sprinkle those on that sheet pan the same way. What I will do now, I will sprinkle those vegetables with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I will drizzle actually pretty generously some virgin olive oil right over it. And when I say generously, means a little bit more olive oil that you would use for normal vegetables, because the eggplants by themselves, they're just acting like little sponges and they're really soaking up all the olive oil. So there I put a little bit more olive oil, and then you see, even by adding a little extra olive oil, you can see there's almost no more oil on my sheet pan here, since those eggplants just absorbed all the olive oil, therefore all the flavor is right there. In the meantime, I have my oven here set on the broil. So now we're gonna broil the vegetables right over here, put them in. And then when you broil the vegetables, always make sure you leave the door slightly open so that the air can actually circulate. And I will leave and roast those vegetables in there for about 40 minutes. And the time those vegetables are cooking, I start on preparing the peppers. Over here, I have some peppers. The 3 already hollowed out. I will show you how to hollow out that one. Just gonna open up and cut the lid, which I will save later on as a garnish to top those stuffed peppers. And then here, I'm just gonna empty the pepper, just take out the seeds. So it's very simple, very easy. There you go, we take everything out, and you can see the pepper is nice, clean, right over there. So I'm gonna transfer that on the pan. And in the meantime, the time those vegetables are ready, I'm gonna pull out those vegetables, and then I will roast the peppers. So let me see how those vegetables are actually doing over here. I can see they started on roasting, but of course I have some ready that have been roasted already. So I will take those out, and over here I have some of those vegetables that have been roasting, and you see how the eggplant collapsed and how beautiful those vegetables are. So I'm gonna let those rest over here, let them cool off, and in the meantime I'm gonna broil those peppers for about 15 minutes on the broiler. And same thing like earlier, whenever you use the broiler, you always leave the door slightly open again so that the air can circulate. You don't have to coat them with olive oil or nothing, just like that. 15 minutes on the broil setting, we let it cook just as it is. And the peppers are ready right here. So I'm gonna take them out. Here we go, you can see how they're collapsing lightly, and picked up some nice little colors, and also they caramelize a little bit in there, so therefore much more flavors. So I'm just gonna let them here, let them cool off. The time they're cooling off, let's do the mix together here. So over here I have those eggplants that earlier and the bell peppers and the cherry tomatoes that I had roasted. I transfer them in a bowl. I have some cooked couscous over here. I will add that into it. So that's a great element to add in some stuffed bell peppers. I have some feta cheese right over here. We're gonna add that. Of course, a little bit of a fresh chopped parsley. Put the parsley over here. I have some dried basil, or you can use fresh basil if you have access to. And I'm gonna remove that and put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper over it. And I'm just gonna mix that really nicely and gently to make sure I don't crush every single element, because you still wanna make sure you see every single element in there later on when it's stuffed in a bell pepper. So you could see how nicely it really comes together. I guess it's so great that just adding a little bit of dressing on there, it would be a beautiful salad right there even before stuffing the peppers. But in the meantime, let's get those peppers stuffed. So I just take one pepper and take some of that stuffing and really fill up nicely the peppers here. So here we go. So pretty generously, you can actually push it in a little bit, because once they're gonna be cooking in the oven, it collapses a little bit. Here we are. So we have one ready over here. We're gonna do the same thing over here, and it's an absolutely great vegetarian dish. And when I'm saying vegetarian, means also lots of flavors. It's really a great recipe. I want to make sure I get some of those little cherry tomatoes on there. Perfect. So once I have that ready, I'm just gonna top it with a little bit more of a feta cheese. A little richer, more delicious, more flavors. So I'm gonna put that on it. And okay, and so you see how easy it is, and the result will be absolutely fabulous, in particular when it comes to colors and flavors. Okay, here we are. So now that my peppers are ready, I just put them in the oven, and just gonna close the door very slightly, keep it slightly open so that the air can actually circulate it, and we're just gonna wait for like 10 minutes and the peppers are ready. So here we are. I think those peppers picked up a nice golden brown color on top. It's like almost glazed. So look how beautiful they are. It looks like a little souffle right over here. So I'm gonna put those down, and we're just gonna transfer it basically right into the pan. So they are, of course, they're nice and hot. But talking about a vegetarian dish here, it's really a fabulous vegetarian dish. Okay, and then we're gonna put that one right over here. So look how those peppers are, and probably the lids. It's almost a shame to put the lids on top because so nicely glazed. So I think I'm gonna put those lids on the side. So just an element of decoration, and you can see how easy it was to make probably one of the best vegetarian dishes, and thanks to Cuisinart, to that great oven who actually roast them and broil them so well.